Hi everybody, welcome to my living room. My name is Megan County and I'm the creator of Megabalanced, and I wanted to spend some time today letting you get to know me, about why I have an interest in spreading preventative wellness with others, and about my passion for Ayurveda and what Ayurveda is and how yoga ties into all of that. So enjoy. If you have any questions, please comment below, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. So I've been a nurse for 10 years now, and the last 5 I spent in the ICU in Center City, Philadelphia. So in the ICU, I was in a respiratory multi-organ system failure ICU. In that ICU, there is a very high mortality rate, a very high amount of people that don't make it. And I knew that going into the job, but I really wanted to learn. I really wanted to be in a hospital that offered the best care, and I learned so much. So I'm very grateful for that experience, not only because I was able to help save many lives, I was also able to help many families cope with the death of their loved ones, and I was also able to see so many deaths that I really was able to change my perspective. I mean, I always tried to be the person that was making every second matter, not getting upset about simplistic things. We all try, but it's not easy. But it really dug that into me, seeing so many people pass away, having to take these patients down to the morgue myself, and after a while, it just was slowly really bringing me down. And in the beginning it was okay because I felt like I was learning so much, and then I also felt like I was being a support person for those families that really needed that help coping. But as time went on, and then with COVID, it became very difficult because, as most of you probably have felt within your own selves, it's very hard to be passionate about something that you don't resonate with. And ever since college, I've been interested in holistic health. I've been interested in preventative measures and how to keep people out of the hospital. And back when I graduated from high school in 2004, holistic medicine wasn't a very big thing in the United States, and not a lot of people were practicing it. I don't even think that there was an option for me to get a master's in nursing within holistic nursing at the time. If there was, I wasn't aware of it. So I really didn't get to go down that path. And even still today, a lot less in the most recent years, but even today within the medical community, there's a lot of doctors, a lot of Western medical practitioners that really don't respect yoga. So just to give you a little background about yoga in its most general sense, because there's many different lineages, the way that I like to look at it in simplistic terms is, imagine going to the doctor and you not feeling well, having some type of ailment, some type of complaint, and they are going to give you either an herb, or they're going to give you some type of movement or shape to make with your body that can act as a medicine to help whatever you have going on in your body that you wish to get rid of. And that is such an interesting thing, because here it's just the pharmaceutical world runs everything, and you have a problem, you go to the doctor and they're going to give you a medication to help treat it. You have high blood pressure, here's a pill. You have high cholesterol, here's a pill. You have diabetes, here's another pill. You have pain, here's a pain pill. You want a muscle relaxer. Everything that they give you is just to mask some symptom. And even with thyroid disorders, hypothyroid, we're going to give you a synthroid. It's going to give you some synthetic form of whatever you're lacking. And it just became so apparent as I went on with my research and with my studies of Eastern medicine. Comparing the two, it was very interesting, because I learned in nursing school all these diseases and diagnoses with the endocrine system, with all the body systems, and then seeing how doctors in a different place are really looking at these diseases completely different, and definitely from a preventative standpoint, as well as how we can treat the symptom's cause, as opposed to just putting a band-aid on the symptom that we're trying to get rid of. So of course, me wanting to live a happy, long life, and everybody else that I encounter, of course, I want to spread that with others. So if that is something that you resonate with, if you're somebody that really wants to enjoy every moment of your life and wants that longevity, that quality life up until you're in your older years, then Ayurveda and yoga are absolutely something I would think you'd be interested in learning more about. So Ayurveda is really the science of longevity, the study of longevity, how to live a long life, how to live a quality life. And it is a holistic viewpoint, so it has to do with everything, your mind, your body, the movement that you do, all of these things, your relationships, your job. And I really love that because it's a lifestyle and it's sustainable and it's simplistic. So anything that's too complex, I know today in this busy world we live in, is going to really not be something anyone's interested in. So my favorite thing to do is to offer simple tips, simple ways to make small changes that over time are going to build up and be sustainable so that you can live the life that you want. So one of my favorite things that I love about Ayurveda and yoga is that they really speak to how there's no one answer, there's no one fix for everybody, because everybody is so unique. And what might be good for you now might not be good for you tomorrow. So really it's about paying attention and learning to listen to the symptoms within your own body. And through this education, you're more able to become in tune with what your body needs and what's going to cause it harm in a very simplistic way, without having to spend hours going to the doctors, without having to spend hours researching, trying to figure out, oh, you know, my calcium level's low or my bone density is not great. Okay, that's fine. And trying to determine the cause of that is very important, but we know that if you're doing body weight exercises and that if you're eating a balanced diet and following a few simple tips that I would be able to teach you, that it's easy to maintain that proper bone density. Because if you're holding a plank or if you're doing any type of body weight exercise, that putting that weight onto the bones is going to increase the density, and that's been shown in many studies. So there's just these simple things that you could be doing rather than getting so stir crazy about, oh, I read a research article about this and this doctor said this, and you have so many different specialists and so many different opinions that it can become quite overwhelming. At least for me, it was very overwhelming when I was trying to figure out what was the best way for me to have this life of longevity. I mean, I have so many people in my family with cancer. My father had cancer, my mom had cancer, my pop-up died of dementia, my other pop-up died of a heart attack. And there's other things that supposedly could have been genetic predispositions. My father's rheumatoid arthritis and immunological disorders. And I didn't want to get any of those. So I used to really research and really worry myself up all about how to make sure that never happens. And truly, that stress response that is coming from me being so anxious about trying to find answers that may or may not be correct, because whether that research study was done on somebody that has a similar body to you or not, there's so many variables in research that it is really hard to pinpoint causation. Really hard. So while you can really lean into that and hope that that works for you, and maybe it's a placebo effect or not a placebo effect, that's fine. But for me, I would rather learn to understand my body and just know what works for me through trial and error and through the wisdom of other people giving me their personal experiences, so that I can become empowered to take care of my health instead of being dependent upon somebody else to hopefully make the right decision in regards to how my outcome is going to be. An emergency room type of situation, obviously those types of things are not going to be helped by the things that I'm able to teach you and educate you on. This is more about a well-being for the long term, the longevity, being able to spend time with your loved ones now, being able to grow old and still maintain that healthy living. Because I can't tell you how many times old people say, oh no, don't get old. And I just say, I'm not looking forward to it. I mean, I want to get there. That means I got to spend so many years on this beautiful earth. But I do plan to maintain my mobility through continuing to do movement practices every day and to be cognizant of how I am carrying my weight on my spine and my skeletal structure and what I'm feeding my body. I mean, for instance, this is an analogy I love to use. We all have cars for the most of us. I mean, if I'm in the city, so some people don't. But you can imagine, so even if you were borrowing a car, renting a car, or it was a motorbike, you know that you only put gas into the gas tank, right? You're not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna rush. That gas station's a little too far, it's a little too pricey. I'll just use water this one time, it's okay. No one ever does that. And if they do, I've never heard about it, and I would think it was a pretty funny story, but no one ever does that. That being said, people care more about their vehicles functioning properly than they do about their own bodies. And you can buy a new car. You can always get a new car. You can total that car and get a new one. You can't total your body and get a new one. Miracles happen. People break multiple bones and are able to come back from that. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, this is a precious gift we have to be here on this earth. And I feel that we should really think about that and realize that this is the only body that we have, that we're going to be living in until our soul moves on at some point. And why not cherish it? Why not give it the love that it deserves? And it doesn't have to be something that's not fun. So hopefully moving forward, I will help you discover how fun being healthy can be, that it doesn't have to be a strain, that you don't have to remove the things that you love from your life. I really love to implement new things to help change bad habits, and then eventually all that stuff that's really not that great for you will just wither away into the past as you become the new best version of yourself. So I'm really excited for you for this journey, and I'm so happy that you found me to help you be a part of it, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.